Da, 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 da. Hello, everybody. Rush on the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well. It's Friday. We've got to get down on Friday. Not my words, the words of Rebecca Black. We've done another week, albeit a short week, but we've still done it. So that's a round of applause for everyone. The weekends are soon upon us. England won 4-0 yesterday. Declan Rice scored. Declan Rice had a pint on the pitch. The world's a good place. Hope everyone is well. Let's have a look at the chat. As today's day is Have You Say Friday with a special guest. We are waiting the special guest to turn up. When he does turn up. So I've seen there's a few guesses in the chat who it could be. So it's not a he. It's not a she, rather. It's a he. Let's have a look who we have in the chat already. Special guest. Indeed. Well, hopefully, if he can log in. We had the fun and games of Trevor Morley trying to log in for the transfer window, like marathon 6-hour stream we had the other day. So let's see, shall we? Let's see. Afternoon check on Chef. Happy a quick hello. Friday's busy. It's always busy in the pub, I'd imagine, mate. Fact today, hair and nails grow faster during pregnancy. They do indeed. And grey hair grows very, very quickly with the males during pregnancy or after pregnancy. I had no grey hair at all before Flo came along. Who is the special one? Jim, apart from yourself, many people are the special one. So hopefully the special guest will come on today. If not, we'll just have a chat anyway. Afternoon, James. Is it Flo? It's not Flo. She's back at school, James. She went back to school yesterday. Yesterday was her first day back, which was she loved. I was taken to school today. It's easy in upper school. You just leave them at the literally leave them at the gate. They walk in themselves. Piece of PISS. Mrs. Budden, not Mrs. Budden today. Not Mrs. Budden. I don't think we'll ever get Mrs. Budden on the show. Friday she has a day off. She has a 4-day week, but she's been off this week anyway. So I don't know what she's up to. Is it me? And I just missed the message. It was James. Where were you? It's not Boogers. Ladders, hope you're Oz. Hope you're well, my friends. Hope you are well. Hashtag must be flown. Clean shirt today. Was it Deck's first pint? I don't think so. Stell, it wasn't Stell. He's still having it large on a 48-hour bender in Ibiza, so he's still going. So guess the guess game. Well, if you guess it, I'll say who it is. But anyway, good afternoon, Russ. Any tips on dealing with lots of rain? I know, Wally. Hope you're safe and well. I messaged Charlie Boy because I saw some horrible scenes in Brooklyn. Like a couple of feet of snow, of rain, absolutely mental. As the proverbial country of lots of rain, not really. Umbrella, always go. You have to British weather. You always have to pack like a t-shirt on. It might be too hot, or put a coat on. Or put an umbrella on, so you can literally take it all with you. Expat John, hope you're well, my friend. Steve, hope you're well. Jake's not back to school till next Friday, so we've got another week of Jay. There's Charlie Boy. Oh dear, he's swimming around Brooklyn, around Williamsburg. But still typing, still watching. That's what I appreciate. That the Hungarian keeper made Roberto look good last night. He certainly did, Lawrence. He certainly did. Rich, hope you're well, my friend. Let's give you a bit of head ups about what's going on the channel this weekend. Obviously, there's no football. There's no West Ham, the proper football. But tonight we have got a really good My Hammers 11 coming out. It's his birthday today, and I didn't even realise. I could have sang happy birthday to him on the show, but we didn't. Mr. Alan Dickens, Dicko, star of one of the most. I mean, he only missed one game in the 85-86 season, 51 appearances in that season. He did 234 in total. Was with the club from under 11s all the way up, which is mental, isn't it? And as I made over 200 appearances. That's going to be on at 5:00 premiered tonight. Lovely guy. About an hour and 20 minutes, and really honest, really genuine guy. Doesn't do a lot of interview exclusive. I think it's his first YouTube video I think, don't quote me, but it must be because he I think he's only had 2 Zoom calls in his life, and I was the second one. So unless the first one was Gonzo, then I don't know. We'll see what it was. So make sure you check that out. It'd be really, really good. All I can say is you're not in Bendon out now. You're in Falaraki still. Stop rubbing it in. Is 11 can be on the bench. Is there Dawson on the bench? Dawson, I reckon we'll put both on the bench, to be honest. Dawson and Diop for Stel. What we got here? Rice goal, get in. It was. Good afternoon, James. Hope you're well, my friend. Anton's flown down. No, he hasn't. West Ham ladies, Sunday. Good point, 2 p.m. Come on, you irons. They kick off the WSL. So that'd be good. And also 10:15 tomorrow, if you're in the Basildon area, it's West Ham Foundation against Catholic United. James Farmer's son. He's playing double duty. He's doing first half for West Ham and first half for Catholic United, who are his Sunday league team, but they're playing on a Saturday. See? Sorted. Alan is a lovely guy. There's some great questions from the members. Become a member and you get an option to ask a question to the ex-players we have on the channel. So in terms of the pre-recorded interviews. So that's a bit of a perk for both of them. Charlie boy, Wally, nice and dry. That's it. Okay, Jake, all I can say is it's 26 degrees in Ben Rama. There we go. 10 degrees less here. Russ, 1 or 2 special guests on today. Just one, I believe, or maybe 2. If the first one turns up, I'm sure the second one will turn up because the second one is a big fan of the first one. That's what we'll just say. So we'll wait and see. But we'll carry on. We'll carry on regardless. Obviously, we've got there's no West Ham games, no first team games this weekend. So we've put we have lots of the My Hammers 11s rewinds coming up with lots of great players. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be throughout the weekend as well. And obviously, as we know, Stel, despite being on holiday, he's still watching the bloody YouTube channel. I'm sure Mrs. Stel is very, very happy with him because he's doing that and still messaging us as well. Have a holiday, mate. Have a holiday. Enjoy it. Enjoy the 26 degrees while we're here. Hey, Siri, what's the weather like in Hornchurch? Let's find out.
It's currently cloudy and 19 degrees.
There it is. TC and FM. What's TC and FM? I don't know, but anyway. Oh no, it's not. It's not Cotti and Machiavelli. No. I just had to defigure that. Dickens, great goal against Norwich from just over the halfway line, and he's a lovely bloke. Still, he's a cab driver. Oh, Dicko, big cab. He's still a cab driver, and we speak about that. We speak about his time at the club, about breaking into the first team, about sort of youth team football as well, and how that's changed a little bit now because he does a lot of training with Barking under 18s and 23s. I think that he looks after them. We talk about the boys of 86. Why the boys of 86 was such a great year in terms of the club, in terms of the success of the team. Talk a bit about the current team as well, because obviously Dicko's a big West Ham fan, and just have a lovely chat, honestly. And to be honest, bless him, he was proper. When we did these 11, there was a few which he was really agonising over, the centre back partnerships he was agonising over. What else? The right wing. Some of them are really agonising. Very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. It's okay. She's sunbathing. It's lovely weather. It's not bad. For the 3rd of September, I've got 21 days left of being in the 30s. No, it's not. Is the guest PO? No, it's not. Thanks, Russ. Just set my Siri off. Very good. Hey Siri, subscribe to West Ham Network on YouTube. Does that work? I don't know. Who knows? All the POs very good. No, James's channel is far more classy, indeed. Far more classy. Yeah, we don't talk about those type of things. Right, we're still waiting for. I think we should put a bet on if I get. I texted him this morning. He said yes. All there, Russ. So if it's Maya Jammer, send me the link. Oh, I bet so. You son. The Army's 2 left feet. It's not the Army's 2. Any news on the Europa away fans? No, I think they moved it to Monday. There's one game which is it the I can't remember. There was one which was definitely not going to happen. Is it the first one? I think the first one's definitely. I think the Zagreb one's not going to happen. Well, don't quote me, but I haven't seen. You haven't seen the show yet. It's a classy show. It's a classy show. Yeah, don't book any fights yet. I know some people have, but yeah, I we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm pretty sure someone said the Zagreb one wasn't away fans, but don't quote me. Someone mentioned it to me the other day, but then I thought there was a decision made on Monday, but I don't know. It's not Mia Khalifa either. It's not Mia Khalifa. Hopefully we'll get him on the UFC. Couldn't find that on Apple Music. Well, there we go. Good to know. Would be cool to see a West Ham show in Conchi's Cafe sometime. I'll make it happen. I will make it happen. That's really good. I can see our guest in the back room, so you can see me. He's waving. That's good as well. We've got him right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, with West Ham Network, you need to watch every game. You need every show, rather. You need to subscribe to every show, because we do have time to time we put guests on just to keep you going. We had Tonka last week, and we've got a great ex-player we're going to get on now. And here's who we've got as a little teaser. Tim!
Russ, how are you?
Oh, very well. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're looking well.
Who was that guy you just showed there?
I don't know. Some bloke who is on the list of all-time appearances for West Ham is 38th on the list.
Oh wow, that's something.
And more impressively, if you took out all the academy boys, you're 17th.
Ah, that's good.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. How are we? How are Mr. Breaker? Are we well?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, very good. Watched a bit of England last night, so that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it weren't too bad. Nice for Declan to score a goal as well.
Yeah.
Nice for.
That was his second, wasn't it? Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good. Very I thought he played well as well. I didn't watch all of it. I watched the second half, most of the second half. But I thought he played well. Yeah, he's doing really well.
No, he was very good. I think he's having an absolute superb season this season. I think they all are. I think it seems to have carried on from last season. You know, where we sort of had that good vibe. It's now carried on to this season, and it's very, very looking forward to this season.
Yeah. You never know, do you? Because the way this season ended, you're hoping it carries on. You want to hit the ground running, as they say, and I think they've done that. Definitely, it looks that way. Performances and results have been good. So yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat, if you're obviously this is sort of going to be an open Q&A session, so to speak. So we're going to talk to Tim about his time at the club and stuff like that. But if you have any questions, please let us know. If you could put a Q at the beginning, so it's easy for me to see on the chat. Tim, I have to bring on one of our guests who's part of the network, who's a massive fan of yours. He doesn't sound like he's a West Ham fan, but he is. He genuinely is. Mr. Anton, how are we doing?
I'm absolutely amazed to speak to you, Tim Breacker. Total legend, part of my era of growing up as well. So it's an absolute pleasure to be here and speaking to you today.
All right, cheers. Yeah, good to speak to you. How's things at your end?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you very much. So as Russ said, yes, I am as hardcore as West Ham you could get. I've been going. My dad's a Londoner, so I've always been going since I've been a kid. So I grew up through the era of seeing you run down the wings, one of the original wing backs going up and down.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good, mate. It's good. Thanks for coming on.
So Tim, obviously we had an interview a while ago. We're putting it up on the channel so everyone can see it. But obviously, 234 appearances, 9 seasons. Didn't have a bad run, did you?
No, I was very lucky. Really enjoyed it as well. It was, it goes so quick. Everyone will tell you when they finish playing it. It's just like a blur, really, and you don't always get time to look back. But at the moment, I've got a little bit of spare time on my hands, so yeah, I can look back and and you go over things in your mind. And yeah, very proud of my time there. Really enjoyed it at the club. Still got some great feelings for the place, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I was very lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, no, exactly. And obviously, a lot of those games, obviously, the roar of the Upton Park crowd and all that type of thing. But away from Upton Park, was there what grounds? Because I never asked you these questions, and it's afterwards. As soon as we spoke, I was oh bugger, there's some questions I want to ask. What ground did you hate going to as a player?
Can't think of many. The ones you hated going to were the quiet ones, really, when nobody was there and the fans weren't close to the pitch, and it was a rainy, horrible night up north somewhere. I remember. I'm sure there's a Wigan game comes to mind, but they're the sort of grounds you think, all right, you've got to get yourself going here, rather than when there's a crowd, even if it's, like thinking again about that England game last night, you could see the players really enjoyed sort of, stuffing it back to them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that thing, when the crowd are on you like that as a player, it spurs you on more than anything, and it gives you that sort of extra edge, if you like. But the ones I hated was when there was nobody there, really.
Yeah,
and if it's too far for your own fans to go as well, and it's.
Well, I suppose it's similar, like to how the boys have, or every footballer has had to cope with the last sort of 18 months, really, because having no one in the stadium, obviously I've spoken to guys like yourselves and a lot of ex-players who, and the crowd give them that, as you said, like that game yesterday epitomised it. Sterling, all the boys were like, right, we're going to stuff it to them. We're going to give ourselves another 15% and really show them that they can't be doing what they're doing. And it must be difficult when there's no fans to do that with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I haven't been to any of this season with the crowds back, but last season I went to a few working wise. Where there was the no crowds and the COVID and whatever and restrictions, and you couldn't move, and it was a bit I don't know what's the word, sterile, really. And even for the players as well and everybody there, they're trying to do the right thing and but that extra little bit that they needed, you get that from the fans, and that you can tell that straight away this season when you watch games and the fans are there, and you can see the edge on the players. The only thing you could say, like last season, it was the same for both teams.
Yeah, good point.
And some teams might have not like having the fans there, because it can go the other way when you're not doing well and the fans are on your back, and that type of thing. So it works.
Tim, it's like currently at West Ham we've got this kind of, we haven't really got the balance of we score goals but we concede goals, and we have to shut up shop, and we know Moyes is looking at kind of bringing in defenders. He brought Zuma in, etc. What is the difference, say, from the back four of nowadays compared to when you were playing, and can you see the issues within the team in terms of conceding goals, that is, and what they need to do to shut up more shop and keep those kind of goals from being conceded?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a different game now, but I do see a good shape about them. I do see the sort of things that you want to see out of defenders trying to do. Obviously, you're playing against very, very good attackers as well, so you have to sort of give them credit. At times, I looked at the Conor Gallagher goal, and sorry. Could the defender Dawson, could he done anything different? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? Probably not. Just great bit of skill. Sometimes you have to, hold your hands up and say, fair enough, nothing you could do about that if your shape's good. And obviously, if you want to try and be an attacking side and get balance right, then that's you're always going to leave yourself a little bit open, aren't you? If you're attacking, again, I know mentioning England because it was there last night, you could see there's always that little bit of when you're attacking that teams are very good at countering nowadays, and you have to be wary when you have got the ball and you're having possession in the opposition half that you're not leaving yourself open. But it's getting a balance, and most fans would love to win 3-2, wouldn't they? Or ideally you get a clean sheet as a defender. But when you're being so attacking, I think back in our day, your attackers, one of the biggest things they had to do was be able to run back and defend. And it was almost they didn't get in the team. You might have had a luxury one or two players like, say like an old Berkovic comes to mind, who obviously out of possession, it wasn't his thing. Whereas he would probably be allowed to get away with that more now than he was in our day. When you went away from home, you might not have seen him play, he might have been on the bench. So I think it's very hard to get that balance, and it is, and there's the old adage of the whole team defends. You know what I mean? Is part of it as well. The whole team attacks. You know. But especially teams are so good at counter-attacking as well, and recognising and set plays and the whole thing. So I think obviously he's very good at organising a team defensively, and you can see that from the shape. So then it's down to individuals as well and concentration. But I would say they've had a great start, and you can see the fitness levels are good. It looks like he's since he's come to the club, he's something he's worked on, and you can just see that going through the team, and confidence as well is a big part of it. And the club looks like it's on a real high. The fans are buzzing to be back in the ground. It's good times, really. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. It seems to have, as I said, it's the good feeling from last season has seemed to have come forward to this season. Plus, as you said, the fans being there, it's sort of like being like a double whammy, and you can see the players are absolutely loving it. I've got there's loads of questions, and then Tim's fallen off. There he is. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Oh, Tim will be back. Tim will be back. We'll sort it out. I can hear you. I can't see you. I can hear you.
I can hear you too, mate.
Well, there we go. Oh, the joys of live shows. But it might be your camera. You might have to log out, log back in again, Tim.
All right, I'll try that, Russ. I'll try that.
All right, try that. We'll get you back in. We've got loads of questions for you to get through anyway. So, see you in a minute. Right, let's kick him out and he'll come back in. There we go. Live. It's live. I mean, look, Anton stopped as well. We both. Anton looks like he's gone to sleep. He ain't gone to sleep. Anyway, we've got loads of questions we're going to go through. And so, I mean, Martin, we've got Lawrence, there's Harley, we've got loads of questions to go through. So hopefully we'll get through them. Hopefully Tim will get back on and we'll be able to answer them. But yeah, you see, that's why you need to come on these. You've got to watch every show. You got to watch, if you want to have a chance to ask a question to someone who's 38th in the all-time West Ham appearance list, 17th if you take out all the academies, like that Bobby Moore bloke and that Martin Noble guy. Yeah, get them out. Tony Cottee, and he's in the top 20. He's in the top 20. So we'll try and hopefully Tim will come back on and we'll be able to get some of these questions sent up to him. Loads and loads of questions. Kieran, we've got Harley, we've got loads of good questions. So hopefully we'll get through to them in a minute. As I said, tonight we've got Alan Dickens. Alan Dickens is My Hammers 11, which is really, really looking forward to it. Guys, honestly, you definitely need to check that one out because it's a fantastic episode, fantastic interview, such a lovely, genuine guy, and it's really, really sweet. And hopefully we're going to get Tim back on in a minute. There he is. He's back. He's figured it all out.
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. Sorry.
You've completed it. You've completed lockdown. Right. Okay. Let's get some questions just in case. Right. Okay. Great seeing looking so well. I totally agree. Thoughts on the massive sums of money involved in football these days from Martin?
I don't know. Where do you start with that? It's a shame for me in some ways because it becomes almost like a them and us thing. It's harder for the fans to relate to when they hear the figures that players are earning, and I find that myself as well, thinking, wow, that's just, I don't know, obscene. But the other side of it, in terms of you're a club, what can you do about it? You have to, if that's the going rate, you have to sort of try and find ways, and it just amazes me. The big thing for me was when the Premier League come along and the sums of money, and I just thought at the time that, okay, fair enough, if that's the way, then surely the season tickets should be subsidised and it should be cheap to take families and that sort of thing. And I think you hear stories at different clubs about that they don't look after the fans. One that comes to mind is Leicester, where apparently it's very good. It's only just down the road from me, but some of the stories I hear out of there that they actually care for the fans and try and sort of look after them, for want of a better word. And I just think it's a shame that with all the money floating around that they can't all do that, or they can't do a bit more for fans and the new fans. Like if you're a family and you want to take your kids, and I remember my first game as a kid going, it's something I never forget. It's so hard now, so expensive to take kids, to take a family, you know. And that's the biggest regret for me, is that they can't do something about that, or try to make it more, you know, that everybody can go at a certain time, less corporate. I know they keep talking about corporate being important, but for me, it's not really. It shouldn't be, because they get enough money from the TV. They get, you know, everybody's trying to find the extra little bit of money that they can get. You think, when's enough? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, even taking the players away, you know, to places around the world to sort of showcase the Premier League, you know. What about the backyard sort of thing? Without the fans being there, it wouldn't be the same product, and that's what makes
I
it
agree.
unique.
Yeah,
And
and I think
where they've gone away, or hopefully they don't, but that would be the thing for me, that if I could change or make a ruling, it would be that, you know, you'd have to have a ceiling on season ticket price if you want, and that's when families can come and that sort of thing, to encourage
But you make a valid point though, Tim. Like, you know, even for me growing up, going into the games, and I know it's all kind of relative, but right now to bring my 2 kids into the stadium, and I'm also got the added cost of traveling to the games, it does become completely unaffordable. And then it all relates to like the pricing of the football strips. For example, my son's 5, and a football strip price is now gone to, I mean, for me to get him a football strip West Ham it's like 88 quid. But I really want to. The thing is, I fall for the trap, because I want him to continue the tradition from a dad down to me, down to him. So it's totally valid points. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you? I interviewed interviewed Alan Dickens the other day, and I was talking about I was talking to him about you know, wages and things like that, and he was like, because we went to an ex-players night the other day, and they were talking about how much they earn, and it was a question that they'd never spoken about in the dressing room, and it was like Alvin might have been on 700 quid or 5. In with you guys, because obviously, as you know, I mean, we got promoted into the Premier League. It's the second year of the Premier League, and obviously you get new players coming in. Do players talk about that in the dressing room, how much they're on, or is it just was it the older players didn't and the newer players did? I don't know how, you know, I'd be like, I'm on £500,000 a week or whatever.
I think you did, but it wasn't as open as it should have been, maybe. And you didn't have agents, whereas nowadays they've all got agents. It's almost public between the agents and then they, you know, hold on a minute, he's getting that, I want this, and whatever that, it must be, that's the way it is. In the dressing room, it was more the older ones. I was a young kid going for my first contract, and the senior players pulling me aside and saying, listen, you need to ask for this, ask for that, and, you know, you need a review of your contracts and things like that you never even thought about, you know. And then there you were sitting in front of the manager trying to sort of negotiate a contract, you know. It was quite daunting, really. But in terms of in the dressing room, it probably wasn't spoken about as much as it could have been. But there was, you know, there was a sort of inkling of what people were doing. And then I was at West Ham when it changed, and all of a sudden, I think it was when Futre and Badiachuru came in, and somebody mentioned 10 grand a week, and everyone was like, what? You are kidding me. You're kidding me. 10 grand a week. You're kidding me. That can't be true. It can't be true, you know? And we didn't know. Nobody went and asked and said, by the way, are you actually earning that much more than all of them? You know? But it did give a bit of a bad feeling, really, because, you know, when things were going bad or you weren't winning, it was you were the ones who were your stalwarts, if you like, or your bread and butter. It was down to you, sort of thing, you know. But that's how it was. You'd never, as a player, you know, say to any that they shouldn't earn it. It's down to them. It's down to you when you negotiate your contract. Once you sign it, that's it. You're happy with what you get, and you get on with your job and on you go, really. But it's part of the game that comes in. When you're young, you don't want to think about that, but you almost have to, because it's a short career and you have to think, try the best deal you can, type of thing. So,
Tim, what was it like when, you know, you've touched on Florin Radicalu and Paolo Futre? You know, Radicalu came off of the Euro '96, a good tournament, and Futre came with such a big CV, I suppose you could say. So coming into the club, and when you were at the club, what was it like, kind of welcoming these guys into the club? Was there a different in mentality between everyone that was currently in the group compared to them?
I think there was a bit of you know, why you're here type thing. You know, I think it must be, you know, if you get a player come in and you think that, you know, you're playing on a Saturday, everybody's got to give their all, and you think that they're just there for the money, or that it's the end of their career and they don't care that much, but it's still the middle of your career and it means a lot to you. There's that sort of question that everyone's looking at in terms of players like that coming in. And for us at the time, I remember, I might have told this story before, but the first day that Paulo Futre came to training, and it was in pre-season, and we were the first day of pre-season, we'd all sort of meet up and go, it's like, oh, we're down Hainault Forest by the lakes going for a run sort of thing. And I remember there was rumours about Paulo Futre and whatever. Anyway, we're there, parked our cars up, having a stretch, waiting to start. And this big black limo comes up, and out steps Paulo Futre. And we're like, oh, wow. So he walks over. Hi, he was a nice guy, a really nice guy. He had a little stretch, and we started running. And he did a couple of laps, if that, and got back in the limo and was gone, you know. And we're like, all right.
Jonesy says that story.
Wow.
Yeah, this would be interesting. And I remember another one comes to mind. Sorry, I don't want to go on the stories, but
no.
I remember Dumitrescu's first training session. And again, apologies to anybody if I told this story before, but it comes to mind. And I was with the physio, John Green, having a jog round, recovering or whatever. I can't remember exactly. And he was there, his first training session, and he started walking in from the training session. So John said to me, come on, Tim, let's have a little jog over. I better see what's he done. You know, surely his first day hadn't pulled a muscle or something. So I went up to it, and John said, you okay? Are you okay? And he went to me today, no enthusiasm. I go in, massage. And we're like, all right, this is interesting. It'll be interesting. And that's the mentality. It was like that. It was just like, oh, God, this will be interesting. But,
and it's funny now, because the difference of, like you say, when you talk about players like that, under David Moyes, under his style of management, it just would not be accepted, would it? It would be, it's the work rate is front and foremost of everything in the decision you make. You know, you can't have players that come in and think, you know, I'll do what I want when I want.
No.
It didn't work then, and even more so now. Do you know what I mean? There's no way. You know, it was okay. You might get a little bit out of them in a couple of games, and that was the thing. I suppose that was the market the club was in at the time, and trying to, you know, obviously Paulo Di Canio, it worked. You know what I mean? Because when you looked at him, he was completely the opposite. He was absolutely on his fitness, and he was a great example. 20 young players coming through, and you know, you get somebody like that into a club. I mean, Ronaldo going back to Man U, and if some of the young players look at him at his age and how fit he is and how he conducts himself and how he trains, then you'll get a hell of a lot out of that. Whereas the other way, you know, when you see somebody on the other way, well, it's like, oh, how did he do it, sort of thing, you know? And then you see them, they can't do it because they've let themselves go, or it's not the passion's not there, or the concentration, or the determination, whatever it is. If as soon as you have a little bit of that, that's it. Forget it. You can't do it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Right, let's get some questions. Loads of people will ask you a question, Tim. First, hardest player you went up against?
Oh, probably just because at the time he was doing really well was Ginola. John Barnes as well but I was quite lucky. I missed Giggs, wasn't really firing at the time when I played him, although he probably scored, which somebody reminded me of. But I remember Ginola and Chris Waddle. Then, you know, he was about, but because they were right-footed, so you showed him. Normally, if a left winger was left-footed, you show him on his right foot, and that's it, game over.
Sure.
Whereas you showed them into their right foot, they're actually right-footed. So you think, all right, they're going to come inside and shoot. So show him on his left. All right, are they quick enough? Yeah, they're quick, so they can take it down the outside and cross it with the left. So you're like, oh, what do I do? The only thing with Ginola, even though the size of him and, like, you know, he's a fantastic athlete, or was a fantastic athlete at the time, he didn't like it if you kicked him. So that was the only thing you had. So you had to try and lay a finger on him to try and upset him. Whereas nowadays, you can't do that. So I don't know what I'd have done with somebody like him, but he's the one who comes to mind who could do everything. And to be fair, Chris Waddle was the same, right-footed. And then he'd drag it on his left and still cross it, even though he wasn't as quick. But those sort of players, it was hard
Not bad.
work.
Not bad. And just to give it back to a bit of the current team.
Mm.
Thoughts on Soufal. Now Soufal is called I've called him the modern day Tim Breaker. Because I think he's got a bit of you about him, the way he's a bomb down the right wing or right fullback position overlap. What do you think of old Vlad?
Yeah, I like him. I've seen him. He looks good character. He's athletically decent. He wants to defend as well. He can get forward. He'll create. Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Exactly what you want, and you do get nowadays. You get wing backs who just don't want to defend or want to be a wing back rather than a fullback, or you get ones who don't really want to get forward. But the modern day fullback has to attack, has to get forward, has to create, and then has to get back quickly as well. So luckily I was okay with that when I was playing, but I know some might have struggled now. I feel I'd have been okay, but some might have struggled because they didn't really want to go forward,
No. I mean, the role of a fullback's changed, isn't it? It's not, as you said, it's almost like an auxiliary winger now, isn't it, really? Whereas previously, as you said, looking back, think about, before your time, Ray Stewart and people like that, they were defenders primarily. And you defended, but you were almost joining the attack. That's how I remember you, Tim. Who's your best mate in your West Ham, in your West Ham squads?
I'm looking forward to this one, Tim.
It's funny enough, probably I would say Stevie Potts. We ended up rooming together, and even though I came into the club to sort of replace him as it was, because he was playing right back at the time.
Yeah.
And then he ended up, he's having his best years at centre half. So
Indeed.
I like to hopefully that I did him a favour that he then went to centre half and was phenomenal there. A legend at the club, and rightly so. But he's a fantastic lad as well. We used to play golf. We were both as bad as each other, so we were okay. So we would find a couple of others to play against and drag them down to our level. And but he was one at the time. He was my room partner. But it was a fantastic group of lads. Yeah, it really was. We had a really good group all through. The senior players like Alvin and Tony Gale right through to. The younger ones coming through, it was good, really good times.
Yeah, no, it was a great squad. As it sort of was 9 years. I mean, in essence, lots of, there was, as you said, a changing of the guard. It was from a non-Premier League football into the Premier League, and then sort of the influence of Harry as well in the foreign players, and there was a real changing of the guard. It seems sort of across your night from where you started to where you ended at West Ham. Completely really different sort of mentality. And also, speaking of Europe, because obviously we're in Europe, we kick off in a couple of weeks' time. Obviously, Anglo-Italian Cup. Thoughts? How was the experience of the Anglo-Italian Cup?
Oh God, that was so funny. Well, funny. It was just crazy. I remember the first game we went to Cosenza, I think it was. We flew out there and everything and trained the day before, whatever, like a proper European game. We turned up at the ground and it was completely deserted. There was one coach load of West Ham supporters came all the way over, and like they were in the stand and there was nobody else. And we did the national anthems and stuff, and it was like, oh no, these guys travelled all this way to watch this, And with no, there wasn't one local fan. There was just nobody. And it was a bit surreal, really. There was problems. The culture was so different as well because, we would tackle. They didn't like a tackle, but they would sort of spit and pinch, and we were like, "What are you doing?" So there was fights all the time. It was like that. It was just there was sending offs and I think we went to another game and there was an absolute downpour. But because we didn't want to go back there, we just carried on with the game. And I remember, I think Clive Allen was playing and he was trying to flick it out of a puddle to kick it. It was like that. It would have been called off. And we came down. It had there was a tunnel underneath. It was like a track and a tunnel underneath. And it was sort of, the water was above our ankles. We were wading through this water to get to the dressing rooms. But there was no way we'd call it off because it was like, we're not coming back again.
You're coming back here again, yeah.
That's what I remember. I remember more the hassles of it and like the culture thing of and there was always problems, always sending offs, and both sides, you know. So it was different. It was different.
Yeah.
European thing now will be should be amazing for the club. It'd be fantastic.
Definitely.
Tim, can I ask a question? And Russ, sorry, I'll need to head after that because I'm going into a work meeting I need to go to. But you know, over the years there's been different captains at West Ham. You know, obviously Julian Dex. A question. It's kind of double-barreled question. What was it like? What was he like as a captain? And then relating it to now, what's your thoughts on the Mark Noble captainship? And then moving into the potential of Declan Rice and you know, taking on the kind of armband this year, going into hopefully next year.
Yeah. I think it's a good question about the captain one, because I think people see it as it is important, very important, but you know, in terms of on the pitch, you know, you learn as a young kid, everybody has to communicate. You've got to talk, and you get some who are better than that than others, and sometimes they could be the captain or not. But nowadays, the role is almost because of the media side of it, it's they're almost a leader of the club, if you like. And I think Mark Noble does that well, and he's sort of that type of character. The other thing as well, going back to Julian, is, you know, he was a fan's favourite as well. So, you know, he led by example, if you like, and you know, that type of captain. Whereas he wasn't so interested in the off the field stuff, you know. And then going on to say, like, well, the thing that I think is great about with Mark Noble then onto Declan would be that they've got the club at heart and they've got a feeling for the club. So then you'd think that anyone who comes into the club, new players, they're part of the team. They bring them into the fold. Not just talking about on the pitch, you know, off the pitch, that sort of thing, with their families, with their wives, and then they can, because he's been a fan, he can sort of relay how important it is to the players, that what the fans are thinking, you know. And I think that's important. And obviously Declan's been there as a young kid, and he'll know all about that, and he'll be able to then impart that onto the other new players when they come through, and hopefully there'll be another one who'll come through, or even if, you know, I think about the Arsenal thing where you know, they had that sort of, they kept going because they had a culture at the club that was really good from George Graham, but Wenger took it on board and kept that. And then when you saw Thierry Henry go in there and Vieira, they almost became the new captains, if you like, of keeping that culture, that what was expected at the club. And I think that's important if you can do that, rather than, you know, everyone goes and then it's a new load. It should carry on through. And I think it seems to me, I don't really know because I'm not obviously in there, but that's what Mark Noble's good at. And I think he's then almost teaching that to Declan, and then he'll be the next one who'll do that with the next group of players, and you know, hopefully they come through the ranks again, you know. If not, one coming to the club as young, you know, that it's that sort of thing is massive, I think, at the club, and it goes a long way, and it can give you so much more than, you know, on the outside you maybe wouldn't feel it as much, but it's really important.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Tim. Listen, I'm going to head, guys. I'll let you to continue. Later. Tim, absolute pleasure. Total legend. Thanks, mate. Take care. Proper fanboy here. Proper fanboy.
Yeah. You've made his day. You made his
absolutely
weekend.
A month.
Really.
Cheers, Tim. Bye.
Right. Let's do some quick fire questions, Tim. Right. Football hero as a kid.
Kevin Keegan.
Nice.
Because I don't know. One of my neighbours told me to support Liverpool, and I didn't really know anything. I was that small and young. I didn't even know anything about it. And then luckily, Keegan and Toshak were playing, and I loved the atmosphere of the games at them times. But then as I was, you know, coming into playing football myself, Keegan was this character who had worked his way. He wasn't naturally talented, and I could relate to that because I knew other players were more talented than me, but I remember, I think my mum and dad bought an annual of his or something and said about how he practiced, and I thought, oh, I can do that. So so he was my hero as a kid, definitely.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, nice, not a bad hero to have. What was Trev like? Old Morley in training. We had him on we tried to have him on the channel the other day, but he's in Norway. They haven't got very good internet, so he didn't work. But
yeah. Oh, in training, oh dear, he was the same as he was in the game. He was annoying. He was a pain. We used to call him. I think I don't remember. I don't know who called him it, whether it was Bish, but Nudger was his name because that's what he was always backing in and leaving a bit on you. And you're like, Trev, it's training. Come on, you got to scrape down the back of your ankle or something. But you knew you could give him a bit, and he would take it as well. So it was, he was, he's good, great lad. He's a great lad.
Faces or Stringfellows? Were you a Stringfellows man or Faces in Gants Hill? Jesus, James.
His Faces still there, is it?
Faces is still there, yeah, in Gants Hill, yeah.
Yeah, Faces for me. I think I went to Stringfellows once, and it was like, oh, what's going on here? It weren't my type of thing. Though Faces was good fun. We had a few nights there. Definitely Faces.
Yeah,
I don't
know. Very wise.
Careful what I say.
Yeah, exactly. It's very wise.
Fellas can't be there, can it? Can't be there anymore. Surely not.
He's gone. He's dead, isn't he, Peter Stringfellows? Isn't he? He died, didn't he? I don't know. I wouldn't know anyone. So, Mrs. Budden's probably listening to. Did you ever consider coming out of retirement in those first few seasons after leaving, so retiring? Did you ever feel about coming back out of retirement, or is that it?
No, I was coaching at QPR, and I was joining in training all the time. Kenny Jackett was assistant. I was reserve team coach, but when we were all together, he'd always chuck me in the games, and I really enjoyed that, still being involved in it. But actually playing the game, no, I didn't really want to go. If I couldn't do myself justice, I didn't want to play for the sake of it. So I'd made that decision that because I'd played after I had a couple of bad ankle injuries, I got back to playing, but I couldn't really train properly. So it was going to be a matter of, can I wheel myself out every Saturday or Tuesday to just play? And then I thought, no, I don't want to, have injury problems the rest of my career or the rest of my life. Sorry. And I wanted to be able to coach and be able to demonstrate and run still. And I'd made that decision. So no, that was it. That was it.
Nah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. What we got here? I went to Bicester School with Tim and older brother Kevin. Was Tim's dad a teacher?
He wasn't actually a teacher, but he worked at the same school. He worked in education, but it was community education. He wasn't actually a teacher, but I think a lot of people thought he was.
Fantastic.
But wow.
Just the randomness of some questions. What about this? Non-West Ham one. Favorite band and music, Tim. That's it.
I'm still all the soul stuff. I was like, George Benson, Luther Vandross, type of.
Do you know what? There was a song I didn't hear. I haven't heard before. And then I heard it yesterday, and I can't get it in my head. It's by the Temptations, and it's called. Oh, I forgot it now. Lady Soul. Lady Soul. Oh, that's a tune.
Yeah, I had one of their albums as well.
Can't get in my head.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Earth, Wind and Fire. They're my favourite band. Love that. All that.
Worst car you've owned?
Worst car I've owned. I had a Mini Clubman back in the day, and if you went over about 60 on the motorway, it got so hot you had to open all the windows and open the fan. Even if it was summer, you had to have heat blasting out just to get
the heat overheat
go down. But it was a great car. I loved it. It had one of those little tiny steering wheels about this big sort of thing, like sporty steering wheel. That was it. That's my first car. That was probably the worst one.
What's the most extravagant purchase you had as a footballer?
Purchase?
Yeah.
Not really. I didn't really. I bought a BMW once, but then it got as long story. A coach reversed into me and smacked it all. So, you know what? Maybe not. And that was a black car. I had black cars, and every time I had a black car, I had a problem with it. But
there we go.
I wasn't really that type of extravagant at all. No.
Notorious to clean, aren't they? Black cars, black and white cars are just the worst cars to get because they're really hard to keep clean. I know my Black Mini. I know it's always the way. Who would come back in the worst shape? Oh, this isn't nice, but okay. In pre-season, who had a good summer? Who'd normally have a good summer?
I don't know. Who could I say? I can't think of who
All right, let's go the other. Let's go the other way. It's been nice. Who'd come back and was like, hadn't missed a beat. I mean, Morley, for example. Morley would go to Norway, wouldn't he, and play Norway for 3 months.
Yeah. A lot of players. The old thing used to be when you got back to pre-season, everybody, I've done nothing. It's going to be a struggle. But you knew that when they were away, that they would have still been doing stuff because you couldn't just turn up. Nowadays, you get a program and everything.
Yeah.
And I had 1 year when I got injured last game of the season. This was back in the Luton days. And so I sort of had to train the whole time. But when I started pre-season, I felt so good. So then after that, I'd have a week doing not a lot, maybe a bit, and then I'd start running. Yeah. But only, not stupid running or cycling or something. And you just got to know that that's what you had to do to come back and not struggle in pre-season.
Yeah, I suppose also the sort of the beginning bit when obviously when Bill was around, obviously everyone said Bonzo was the fittest guy at the club and was still the fittest guy when he was the manager, and he said those runs in Hainault Forest, but no one really looks forward to them, to be honest.
Yeah. So the worst shape one was probably Foot Tray when it comes to it. Yeah,
we'll give him that.
Yeah,
we'll give him that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Jonesy told me the exactly same story that you said, and someone else did as well. I can't remember. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. No, it wasn't Michael Hughes, but someone else did, and it was like word for word. And I was like, when one person tells you, you think, it's an after-dinner speech. Yeah. But the fact when there's three, it's all good. That's brilliant. Yeah. Right, a couple more, then we'll let you go, man, because I appreciate it taking up a little time. You had 2 red. Oh, yeah, you got sent off twice for West Ham. Do you remember what for? Probably a naughty tackle, wasn't it? Naughty tackles.
Yeah. Both tackles. One was at Everton away against Peter Beagrie.
Yeah.
And he had that thing of where he used to just flick the ball and jump out the way. And I think I caught him once, and then the next time he jumps out the way, and the ref was, because the fans were there, and second yellow. And the other one was, I think it was at home against Sheffield Wednesday.
Well done. It was, yeah.
Yeah, against Sheffield Wednesday. I think that was 2 yellows as well. And that was, I think I got a little bit frustrated, but which was bad of me. But when I see things, oh, wow. And they slow it down so much, and a player's just nicked the ball away, and somebody's caught him, you can't tackle. But if that's the rules, then that's the rules. But you just can't think about tackling. So it makes for more entertaining attacking football. I get that. Yeah. But the one for me that I can't stand still is when I see players rolling around. And then getting up, fine, I just can't be doing that.
Right, last 2, not a West Ham one, but it involves Millwall. So anyway, you played in the infamous match versus Millwall when you was at Luton. Was it scary playing Millwall?
Oh, absolutely. That day was, if you actually got to see a video, which I've seen bits of once when it came up, because I was at Millwall and we were going back to Luton. I was coaching with Kenny Jackett at Millwall, and it came back up again. Yeah. It was in the cup, and honestly, it was scary. Is not the word. It was the whole day. It wasn't just the game. It was before the game, and it was quarter-final of the FA Cup as well. And one of my stories with that as well. This shows you what it was like at the end of the game. There was the fans were stood on the pitch, and the police were trying to get them back. They couldn't get them off the pitch, and this was at the end of the game. And I remember Mitchell Thomas was the fullback, and he got the ball, and he couldn't take the throw in. He had to take a throw in, and he had his back to the police, and he was about 3 foot on the pitch taking the throw in. And he looked at the ref, and the ref just went, "Play on, just go, play." And then, we need to get to the end of the game. And then I remember as well, he said, because I was down the other end of the tunnel, he said, "I'm going to blow the whistle in a minute." And Les Seeley was the goalkeeper. I thought, "Les, you're going to struggle because I know I could outrun you."
Yeah.
So Les started running. He started running. He knew he was going to blow the whistle, and he got close to the tunnel. And I thought, "Oh, I better go as well." And then it just come on, and they wanted to lynch you. It was like that. It was scary. It was scary.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Right, last
well behind us those times.
Yeah, yeah. Thank God. Right. I mean, I remember when we played Millwall in the cup, and it was like Jax Collison's dad had just passed the week before, and it was a horrible night, and we won, but it was horrible. Last one, and then we'll let you go, man. Was from Kieran. Team bus. What was a team bus like at West Ham? Obviously, it changed throughout your time, I'd imagine, but good camera. Who was the back seat? Who always got the back seat?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the likes of Johnny Moncur, John Hartson, Trevor Bish. They'd be back there. Dix would be back there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all good. We used to play games and that. We used to play. I remember Kevin Keane used to bring. I think it's called Scattergories or something like that. And I used to love playing it. We used to get things out. I wasn't really a card player. When it got money, I was more, I don't know, like hearts and things like that. But nowadays, there's all the videos and you can watch your iPad and put your earphones on. But I prefer them days where there was a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun, or a bit of banter flying around.
Well, you see the kids now, all the kids and all the players, and they come out and they've all got headphones like these, all got headphones, and you don't get that sense of camaraderie on the team. Also, they got to split them into two at the moment because of COVID, don't they, as well? So I think you miss a lot of that out in terms of that, as you said, that fun side.
It was, especially if you won a game. You imagine coming back and we was allowed to have a couple of beers, so the atmosphere after you'd won, or especially away from home, it's always special winning away from home because it's not easy to do, and that sort of thing. And there's a buzz that it's brilliant, and everybody's all in the same mind. And obviously, when you lose, it's completely the opposite. It's a down. You can't wait to get home, and that sort of thing. But it was. It must be very different now. But that's how it was.
Tim, man, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Loads of lovely comments and stuff, and I really, really appreciate it. All the questions as well. I know we've thrown the questions at you, but people want to know about Tim and what it was like being at West Ham at that time and all that stuff. So thank you very much, Tim. I'll let you go.
My pleasure. Cheers, Russ.
Speak soon, mate. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Well, there you go. You see, this is why you need to subscribe to the channel. This is why you need to hit the bell icon. This is why you need to turn up every show we do, because you don't know who's coming on. Tim Breacker, 230. I forgot 294. I wiped it off. My board, my prompt board, 294. Mental. 38th all-time appearance. So we've just had him on the channel. I've had him for a good hour, which was great. Cheers, Rich. Pete, I wasn't laughing because of playing in those conditions. It was nervous laughter. I was just trying to keep it a bit light. But yeah, horrible conditions. And as I said, I remember that Millwall game, and it wasn't nice at all. The one, and I was in the police control room next to it. So yes, no, there was no airs or graces there. Right, faces tonight. Anyone? I think we should one. I think let's get down faces. I'll bring Tim along. Good one. Cheers, mate. Russ, question for you: who's been your favourite striker since 2010? Must be. Well, I mean, I suppose you've got to say Antonio, really, isn't there? Strikers have been sort of few and far between, really, I think. Exactly. What way to finish the week? And as I said, later on at 5:00, we've got, it's not a live one, it's a pre-recorded interview, but we've made it as a premiere, so you can come on and chat and leave your comments about Alan's career and stuff. Alan Dickens is My Hammers 11. That's on tonight at 5:00. If you like the whole live thing, we should have at least one more this week on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. UK time. We should have George Cowie, who played for the Hammers, from I think we started apprentice forms, early 80s. So we've got George. He's in Australia. Pardon me, Windy Pops. He's in Australia, so we're having that. And next week we may have another live one as well. He's just texted me to say can he change the days. So I need to talk to Anton and talk about the schedule to make sure we can do it live. If not, we'll have to do it pre-recorded. But if we do it pre-recorded, I let all members know when we're doing an interview, and they have an option to ask a question. And we've got through some really nice ones of Alan. Similar questions today. Favorite ground you loved playing at, who's your toughest opponent, who did you idolize, all things like that. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch all the great content we've got coming up in the next few days. There's no West Ham playing. There's no sort of first teams players. But don't forget, Jack, if you're around the Basildon, 10:15 kickoff tomorrow. Woodlands School, West Ham Foundation versus Catholic United under 16s. You've got the West Ham ladies kicking off on Sunday, 2 p.m. So plenty of people to be watching. And also we've got loads of My Hammers 11s coming up this week as well, the rewinds from the My Hammers 11 chart. So you might have missed one. Maybe you haven't seen any of these interviews before, so make sure you watch them. There's some great ones. Let me tell you who we've got coming up, just so you guys know. We've got a few each day. There we go. See, this is interactivity, and we've gone for a bit longer. And I've had a chance to talk to anyone, so I do apologise. I've had a chance to talk to anyone today, so we'll make sure we rectify that on next week. So who we got coming up? We've got obviously Alan Dickens today. We've got Carlton Cole coming up in Friday about sort of 9-10 o'clock UK time today. Tomorrow we've got Jerry O'Brien, Richie Garcia. We've got who else? Ben Shepherd, Tipping Point. We got his Miami's 11 coming up this weekend, and Steve Motone from another Australian. We've got 2 Australians, and we're talking to George in Australia as well. So plenty of to be thing, and there will be a daily tonight as well. Thank you, Anton. So very good. I'm still trying with Replica. I might try and see if he fancies coming on and doing this type of thing rather than an interview. It might be a bit easier. We'll see. Thank you, Martin. Yes, a daily tonight, or we should call it, if it's in the evening, we should call it something else, like West Ham Tonight or something like that, right? Rather daily sort of bit, anyway. But time TBC. But anyway, so I hope everyone had a great rest of the week. Love late night discussions. Anton will be on later on. Stel is still on his 3-day bender in 3-day booze cruise around the Canary Islands, and so it won't be him, but it'll be Anton, and he might grab a few people to come on from the network and stuff. So make sure you check that out. It'll be a bit of a giggle as always. But hopefully you have a great weekend. If I don't speak to you before, as I said, we're here. We'll be here to Sunday 10 a.m. UK time, hopefully. But again, you'll know it because you hit the bell icon, you get the notification, and feel free to join us. Stel needs to stay on. Stel goes on holiday. We've got Tim Breacker on a live interview. We've got George Cowie we've got Keith Rowland next week as well. Hashtag just saying. Is there any chance to get more recent ex-players, younger fan here, but also learning about historic ones? Mate, check out the channel. We've got like the likes of Carlton Cole on there. We've put Trevor Sinclair. We've put who else on? I'm just looking. We've put on Marlon Harewood. We've got loads of more recent ones. Bobby Zamora is coming on. We've got his interview I'm going to put up soon. Who else? There tend to be players who have since retired, because it's always easier. They can't, because you'd have to talk through their club and stuff. So we hopefully will get some very good ones coming on soon. So yes. But anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Have a lovely weekend. It's only been a 4-day week, but we've managed to do it. Come on your irons, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Much love. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for all the lovely questions. See you later.